I thought that I have a bigger hole in the front. So, when the welds were coming here now, you see now it gets thicker and thicker. So you could have driven the whole hinge in without to lift off the hinge. But you see here, it was too late to hold it. So that is backfire.
Yeah, it didn't exactly go too well. And it's a good kind of an illustration of what needs to take place is personal protective equipment because he was a master at what he did and his situation he was probably using it mostly for teaching, I guess, but I don't think he expected that other tree to roll over, that limb come down. You know, that's the whole thing, that most of the time those incidents that take place are unexpected and they're unplanned events. And so in that case, we've got to make sure that we try to protect ourselves from them as much as possible. So the things of hard hats and eye and ear protection and leg protection and boots, all of those things have a reason to be there in the workplace. And one thing for sure, they don't work unless we use them, unless we put them on.
That's
So
right.
what do y'all hear as far as reasons for or against? What do you hear? As far as perspective, what's the main thing? Is it head, eye, and ear, or chaps that people really look at? What do you think? What's really the factors out there that people think about with personal protective equipment?
So, the main thing we see in the South, the stuff's hot. It's just too hot. It's already too hot down here. That just makes us hotter and gets us more fatigued.
That's kind of a situation I've heard for years and years. But you start to look at law enforcement or fire departments and they're going to have a bunch of gear on if they're going to go to work. Well, let me ask you a question. Would you bleed more if the temperature is hot or if it's cold? I found too that a lot has changed with the going from chaps to working pants. They have gotten a lot cooler. In some cases, it actually absorbs the sweat and actually can help to cool you. The way these things are built with different ventilations and things like that. So a lot has changed over the years from that standpoint. I got a couple pictures here too that I found that. When you start looking at personal protective equipment, eye and ear and all those, safety glasses everybody thinks about, and then goggles. Most people, they try to go for the safety glasses. One thing that really makes a big difference today is this head protection with eye and ear. They've got all the colors from hot pink to orange to red to everything else now. And then the standard work helmets that you'd see with Husqvarna and steel. It's some face protection, or really some of the new screens are even rated the Z87 for eye protection as far as chainsawing goes. It makes it really nice to have everything together now. I just flipped out some pictures and it's amazing the different styles. You got the newer style wrap chaps from Husqvarna and then the wraparounds. I've used the Fanner pants now for several years, and they've even got them with flags on them. So there's all kinds of stuff that you can get. Chris, do you have any of those yet?
I don't have the flags. I have the cloggers, and I love them. They're cool.
And this is quite interesting when you watch the chainsaw go into it, and he went right into it. You can see it just kind of locked the chain down there, and you can see that it didn't cut through. So if you'd have had that on with that particular situation on the leg, coming around cutting a briar or bush or something, and it comes past that and into your leg, that would be something that saved you from a lot of that blood. It does create good mechanics, though. That's how it works. We call it jamming. The chain grabs the material out of the chap, and it pulls it in, wraps around the bar chain and sprocket, and jams the saw. It is a pretty good test to let you know that the product you're getting is it's been tested. And that's the UL classification label that you look for, or a U.S. Forest Service procurement standard. So that UL classification gives you a pretty good assurance that it's been tested. And took him off when he was teaching him on that stump right there. But when he was cutting the tree there, he had his mittens on, something that he got me started on years ago. And a lot of people kind of giggle at him, but it's something that if you've never tried them, they're amazing. So if you're working a chipper and brush and stuff like that too, is that it comes off your hand really easy. It goes back on real easy. You know, dip style gloves that are out of flexible materials, and those a lot of people like those to be able to work with, and they are pretty comfortable running the saw. Not necessarily do you need them when you're operating a saw, although it is nice around briars and those kinds of things. But it is something that if you're sharpening a saw, head, eye, and ear, and well, there is one more, but there's some new stuff out there as far as chainsaw boots. Some of the best out there are the rubber style boots. They're a little hot for the South, but it is something where those are very resistant to the chainsaw. Those are rubber with rolled ballistic material in around, and so they have wooden shanks in them usually, and you can wear thick socks and be able to go pretty much year round with them, but they do get a little warm in the South. This time of year, they're pretty nice to have. So what do you do, Chris, as far as requirements for volunteers and stuff? How do you get people? I know you have 25, 30 saws out running at sometimes. How do you keep everybody in PPE?
We provide PPE. We're just like a company, so we have to provide hard hats and chaps. Each tool trailer has 20 hard hats, 20 pairs of chaps, gloves, safety glasses. I just upgraded all the tool trailers from the old style forestry helmet to Petzls with better ear protection, and they're vented to try to combat some of that complaining when we're down south and it's super hot. You know, most places we go, it's hot. But if you pick up a saw, you got to wear your chaps, you got to wear your hard hat, you got to wear your boots, you got to wear your gloves. You got to wear your helmet. If someone doesn't wear them, then they don't run the saw. I had a guy come. We were in Louisiana, and it was hot. There was a church group. They wanted to cut. They were new with us. The guy said, "I don't wear chaps. I don't wear hard hats. We just came down here to help people." And I said, "Well, if you want to work with us and you want to run a saw, you go wear everything." About 45 minutes after they'd gone out, I saw an ambulance coming through, and he had was a live oak was laying over. He cut this guy that I was talking to. He cut a limb. The tree rolled. Limb hit him in the back of the head, knocked him down to the ground, broke the suspension out of the helmet. He cracked 3 vertebrae. Both eyes were black. Did some dental damage, but he was rushed to the hospital. He came back. He was in the hospital for 4 days. He came back to the church with tears in his eyes and told me the doctor told him he would have been dead right there if he wouldn't have had the helmet on. He was crying, said, "I wouldn't have seen my wife and my kids ever again if you wouldn't have forced me to wear that helmet." So I just wanted to come in here and thank you before I went home. So it's real.
I've heard a lot of those kinds of stories over the years. We don't think about it sometimes till something does happen. I have guys all the time that say, "Well, I do this professional, got a crew, I've climbed for years and years, I've done this, that, and other." And then 25 years in the business, and all of a sudden something happens. People don't realize that it doesn't make a difference how professional you are or how many hours that you have on a saw or driving a car, or a truck. When that unplanned event happens, you didn't expect it. You, with your professionalism and your experience, can hopefully limit the chances of those things taking place because you recognize more of the danger out there as you start to work. It's sometimes impossible to be able to manage all of it, to be able to not miss something and that unplanned event happens.